Happy Monday, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting week of recruiting. Let's jump right into it. And there's a dog barking in the background. I hope you don't mind. Hope it's not too disturbing here, but we're going to get the message out. This is Deep Recruiting, where we're focused on the skills and techniques and tactics and practices that it takes for you to become successful in the wonderful world of staffing. This is Deep Recruiting. You can always email us your questions, your challenges at deeprecruiting@teamgtn.com. We'd love to get your questions. We'd love you to challenge us, make us think, give us problems that you think might be unsolvable, and let's see if we can solve them live on the air. We do this every Monday morning at 11 a.m. I'm trying to build this up to 1,000 views a week. And the way to do that is I need your comments after every podcast or during every podcast. I need your likes, but mostly I need your comments to build this up so that we can get more people involved, because a rising tide lifts all boats. What we're going to focus on this week specifically are the 17 habits of self-made millionaires. Now, these 17 habits come from a gentleman by the name of Thomas Corley. He spent 5 years studying multimillionaires and gathered his insights and put them in a book called Change Your Habits, Change Your Life. And we're going to focus on these 17 habits today. We're going to get through probably half of them today because I like to keep this short, around 10 minutes, and we'll do the remaining balance next Monday at 11 o'clock. And point of order, when we go to November 3rd, we're going to be in a brand new studio. So hopefully that works out fine, but you'll see a different background, whole different setup for me anyway. Maybe it'll be a little bit more inspiring and we can dig into more fun stuff. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump in. Let's do the 17. Let's make this thing happen. All self-made millionaires, they had to start somewhere. Much of their transformation from ordinary to a seven-figure status can be attributed to what we call rich habits. This is a term coined by Thomas Corley, who spent those 5 years doing that research. And he studied 177 of these self-made millionaires. He said, from my research, I discovered that daily habits dictate how successful or unsuccessful you will be in life. That's what he wrote in his book, Change Your Habits, Change Your Life. There is cause and effect associated with habits. Habits are the cause of wealth, poverty, happiness, sadness, stress, good relationships, good health, and bad health. The good news is that all of these habits can be changed. So here are the 17 rich habits that self-made millionaires do that you can actually start doing today. The first one is to read consistently. Charlie Kirk, it came to pass, I think he was trying to read, was it 120 books a year? Something along those lines. That's a lot of books. That's 10 books a month. That's 2.5 books a week. Could you take the time? Would you be able to parse out the time to read 2.5 books a week? That's a lot of reading. But that's what successful people do. Corley wrote that 88% of rich people devote 30 minutes or more each day to self-education or self-improvement. And they did most of that reading for information, not entertainment. The rich read to acquire or to maintain their knowledge. Now, you can do this a little bit easier than Corley's even suggesting. You can do it via podcast. I personally have about a dozen podcasts or so I listen to every week. Sometimes they're very relevant. Sometimes they're completely useless. Sometimes it's on physical fitness. Sometimes it's on psychology. Sometimes it's on spotting lies. But every single week, I listen to multiple podcasts while I'm working out, while I'm commuting to work, whatever the situation may be, because I'm filling my brain with knowledge. There's no excuse to have all that downtime. I'll let you in on a little secret. When I was a young man, starting out in my career, I was one of those guys that suffered from road rage. I'd get really angry when people would cut me off on the highway, or people wouldn't move, or people would just sit there when the traffic in front of them is moving. All the little things that drive people like me, a driver personality, insane when we drive. And nothing really seemed to stop it until I discovered audio cassette recordings for learning, specifically sales training. And that would transport my mind and allow me to focus on improving my career instead of worrying about what was going on the highway, on the road, on the stop traffic. It made my time that I saw as being frittered away and wasted into productivity time, time that I could invest in improving my life and my career. All of my road rage went away. So if this is something you suffer from, that's a little tip. A lot of people don't like to work out. They don't like to go for a walk because I've got too much stuff to do. Great. Turn that into productivity time. You can, instead of podcasts, you can buy a lot of training books on tape. You can listen to them. In fact, some of these services even offer these books, like one book a month for free. $10 a month for a subscription to feed your mind 30 minutes a day while you're doing something that otherwise you would be listening to music or just wasting away. What a magnificent way to invest in yourself and your future. So I really want to highly recommend it. If you can't take the time to read, at least take the time to educate yourself using podcasts or books on tape. Corley found that the millionaires, the people that were self-made millionaires, tended to read 3 types of books. These were biographies of successful people, self-help, which is my personal favorite, or personal development books, which to me is kind of the same thing. The third thing they read were history books. We all know the saying, if we don't learn from history, we're bound to repeat it. Number 2, and I treat this one very seriously, exercise. 76% of the rich aerobically exercise 30 minutes or more every single day. Aerobic exercise includes everything from cardio focus, such as running, jogging, even walking or biking. Now, personally, at this point in my life, I do cardio. I do CrossFit. I do CrossFit probably 4 to 5 times a week. It's typically about 15 to 30 minutes of heavy cardio where you're sweating and you're out of breath. It's fantastic. On the days I don't do that, I actually walk. I'll walk up to 6 miles a day. Quite often I walk to work. I walk home. I walk to lunch. I look for opportunities to exercise every single time. Instead of taking the stairs, or instead of taking the elevator, I always try to take the stairs. If there's an opportunity to stand up instead of sit down, I'm going to take that indulgence in my own health and future. Cardio is not only good for the body, but it's good for your brain. It grows neurons in your brain cells. So essentially, it makes you smarter. It makes you more alert. Don't have time? Make the time. Treat it as an article of faith. You should take 15 to 30 minutes to work out every single day. Your body's going to benefit from it. Your brain's going to benefit from it. And I don't buy this nonsense that you don't have time, because you're going to get that time back and more because you exercise. Because that exercise is going to turn your brain on. You're going to think better. You're going to think faster. You're going to be more productive. So that 15 to 30 minutes you spend working out is going to pay you back in spades, in productivity. You're actually going to get more stuff done. Now, one more thing about exercise, it actually increases the production of glucose. Glucose is your brain fuel. So the more fuel you feed your brain, the more it's going to grow, the smarter you're going to become. That's what you really want, isn't it? Number 3, they hang out with other successful people. You may have heard the phrase, your network is your net worth. Absolutely critical. You're only as successful as those you frequently associate with. The rich are always on the lookout for individuals, who are goal-oriented, optimistic, enthusiastic, and who have an overall positive mental outlook. Does that describe your network? If not, why not? It's equally important to avoid negative people and negative influences. Negative and destructive criticism will derail you from pursuing success. Now, Zig Ziglar said back in one of his speeches, probably 40 years ago, if you feed your mind a steady diet of corruption, lies, deceit, bad behavior, essentially what you get in soap operas, if you feed your mind a steady diet of that, Well, what do you think is going to happen? What are you going to see and what are you going to believe? Because you fed your mind all this negativity. That's what your mind is going to build on. So feed your mind a great deal of positivity and you'll be a more positive person. Number 4, they volunteer. They surround themselves with good people. Many self-made millionaires actually turn to charity. This is why so many wealthy people volunteer for charitable organizations, civic groups, or trade groups. It helps them expand their network with other success-minded people. Of the Millionaires Quarterly Study, 72% volunteered 5 hours or more every single month. Number 5, and that's what we're going to call it for today, they practice dream setting. Dream setting involves scripting your ideal future life. In this process, you define your future life, the future you, by imagining all your dreams coming true, putting it to paper in 500 to 1,000 words. 61% of the self-made millionaires reported practicing this planning strategy for their life. Let's do one more because I'm going to want to get all this in as much as we can. So we're going to do number 6 today. They pursue their own goals. Pursuing your own dreams and goals creates the greatest long-term happiness and results in the greatest accumulation of wealth. Too many people make the mistake of chasing someone else's dream, such as their parents, a dream that was set for them without their input probably. Rich people, they define their own goals. They define their own dreams and they pursue them relentlessly, passionately. Corley wrote that passion makes work fun. Passion gives you the energy, the persistence, and focus needed to overcome failures, mistakes, and rejection. Are you passionate about your career? We're going to call it here because, again, we want to keep this short. This has been Deep Recruiting. We're focused on the 17 habits that millionaires follow. We'll do at least another 6 next week. This may end up being 3 parts instead of 2, and that's okay. I want you to focus on the 6 we went over today. I want you to make your life stronger, better, faster for yourself, for your friends, for your loved one, for your family. Email us at deeprecruiting.com, deeprecruiting@teamgtn.com. Give us your question. Give us your challenges. Let us address those on air. Challenge us in a way. Give us a problem you think maybe we can't solve. Let's see if we stumble or not. Give us a like, but most importantly, give us your comments. We want to grow this to 1,000 viewers or more every single week as our first goal. That's the goal I've got. It's the goal I'm setting for you to help us out. Leave us a comment. Let's make this thing successful. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Have a fantastic week. Make it successful. Do a good job. Make somebody's career. And take care. Thanks so much.